Thank you so much for listening to Urbanistica podcast. I am Mustafa Sharif, an urban planner, and you're more than welcome to join my big journey of exploring the making of smarter and more livable cities. Please don't forget to follow Urbanistica on the different social media platforms, and also let's connect on LinkedIn. Big thanks to Urbanistica podcast partner, AFRY. AFRY is an international engineering and design company providing sustainable solutions in the fields of energy, industry, and infrastructure. Are you ready for a new episode? Let's go for it. So hello and welcome, Chero, to Urbanistica podcast.
Thank you.
Happy to see you here finally.
Me too. I'm very happy to finally sit here with you and have a nice talk.
Yes, we were colleagues when I started this.
Yes.
And then I went here, you went doing PhD, and now we're back again.
Yes, so I've kind of followed your path from the very first, planning and setting up the first people that you interviewed.
Yeah, they were our
and
colleagues.
Those late nights. Yeah, I remember.
Good. I'm so happy to see you and following also your PhD journey.
Yeah,
it's tough with PhD, but finally I have you here, and I have so many questions to you about like your PhD, but also about how is it being a PhD student.
Yeah, and I'm very happy to sit here and get the chance to talk about how it is to do a PhD and just answer these questions, because I remember when I first started myself, it was also very, very unclear. What does a PhD student do?
Yeah.
How is the life of a PhD, student? So.
Gonna explore.
Yes.
Awesome. So walk us like step by step from how and time, financial, how is life,
Oh, there's so much to share. Let's start with the how. So the how is that when you do a PhD, you could either do it via a university. So there are many ways, but yeah. You can do it through a university. Yeah. So then they will position the research.
Yeah.
And you can apply for it just like you apply for a job.
Yes.
So you upload your CV, your academic CV. That's maybe important to mention.
What is it?
An academic CV is what you have written, like your articles where you have studied, what education you have, courses and so on. Language is also maybe sometimes relevant.
Okay.
So that's an academic CV. You have that, and you also write a personal letter. And in this personal letter, you need to explain why you are the best candidate for this research position.
Okay.
And so, and this is what I did in 2020, actually. It was during the pandemic.
Oh my God.
So I had a lot of time to sit and write on this personal,
I see it works.
Description. Yeah.
Oh, good job.
Maybe you need a pandemic. So that's one way of doing it. And what I did was I applied for a position that had, it was like the framework was already more or less set, and there was funding, because you need funding to do a PhD.
Yeah, because someone needs to pay you.
Yeah, but this is also not always the case. So you have cases where you can do your own PhD, you set the frameworks and so on. And then like I know a lot of students, and I have a lot of like colleagues and friends in the UK, they work full time as architects or landscape architects, and they're doing a PhD on the side. So the time they have left where they're not working in practice, they're working in research.
Okay.
So you have this also, and that's
combination.
Yeah. So it could be very different. Otherwise, or you can also apply for finance funding. I mean.
Yeah.
And then through that,
you can create your own.
job or research.
Yeah.
So you have these, And then there is another version where you also mix practice and research. I think, I'm not sure. I think it's called doing an industrial PhD.
Is it good?
I can ask around. I know it's difficult.
Industrial PhD?
Yeah, so it's basically that you're working in practice, and what you're doing in practice, you're also doing in, like it's a practice based.
First time I hear about it.
Yeah.
Industrial PhD.
I might use the term. No, I think it's industrial PhD.
Okay.
So it's basically a practice based PhD.
Yeah. I don't know, because I'm laughing now because I'm getting this image of that you're doing your PhD in a factory.
Yeah.
That's like that's industrial PhD.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Okay. Maybe it's a bad imagination, but anyway.
So we have I have a few colleagues at KTH who are doing an industrial PhD.
But it's a lot with
they're not working in factories, I promise.
No,
but they could.
It's a lot. But a lot of a big part of it is like a practical, maybe.
For them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, mine is also that I'm not doing an industrial PhD or a practice-based. I am doing, let's say, the normative way of doing a PhD. But I also, because I'm doing a lot of field work or have done a lot of field work, it's actually kind of close to practice. Yeah,
because you're integrating as a method in your research. So
these are the different versions.
Yeah, and you applied, and you saw like this position in KTH, and you applied, they like what you wrote, and then they accept you.
No.
No.
I wish it was that simple.
Really?
Because this was my first time applying to an academic anything, let's say, position, but like anything that is close to academic, the academic world. But so I applied, and then I was asked to be in an interview, and I believe, if I remember it correctly, I mean, it was 4 years ago now, there were 4 professors almost that interviewed me.
Interviewing you?
Yes.
4 professors?
4 professors.
What?
So it was kind of intimidating, and
Really?
I kept thinking,
oh my
what
goodness.
can I offer? I mean, I don't know anything next.
Like, what is that? How long was the interview?
I don't remember. Wow. It wasn't too long. It was like manageable. But like the first second I was like, oh wow, what am I like? Why am I even here?
Like for professors, like
I can't do anything. I can't offer anything. No. But they were so kind.
What did they ask?
So they asked questions like, why are you the best candidate for this position? And of course, like for me in this, it was easy for me to say, well, I've grown up in these environments. I've also done similar things earlier. And I mentioned the methods that I've used, these
nice
fieldwork methods. So I think after like answering a few questions, I got a bit warm in my skin.
Of course, and
I understood maybe I can also offer something to the to this.
You can bring something to the table.
Yeah.
Did they ask you where do you see yourself in 4 years?
No. No. But so they asked me what experience I had, what I offer to like what can I
bring
offer?
To the
questions like this. I don't remember all of the questions, but I remember that some were difficult, some were hard.
Yeah.
They also asked me theoretical questions like, who do you which theorists do you think are very good, or like how are they good to this research? And I remember being like,
I have no idea.
Oh no, I'm not an academic. But then just like allowing myself a few seconds, I think that's also important to not like, I need to have an answer quickly,
Maybe
you need to breathe in and breathe out, and what comes to you comes.
Yeah,
and
like
if it doesn't,
then
it's okay.
Next job, please.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
So that was interview 1.
Interview 1?
Yes, it didn't finish there. So that was 1. And I remember that the whole process took 4 months. Like from the first interview,
okay,
until my the
contract signing.
Not signing the contract, just getting the information, like them calling me and informing.
Why it's so complicated?
I think, thinking back to it, actually, it's very different. This is my case. Some, now that I'm thinking about it, I know I have colleagues that it's been much quicker. Yeah. So that was interview 1. Yeah. And then I had interview 2, and then I had interview 3. I don't know if I had a 3rd or a 4th. Something like this. It was at least 3.
Oh my God.
And then by this stage, I was like, I'm tired. No, yeah. I've said everything now. I don't have any more, tricks up my
what do you, what can I show more?
Yeah. So no, but you just have to trust yourself and trust that what happens will happen.
Yeah, and of course. It's destiny also.
Yeah, if you're the right person for the position, it will, be that. And if not, you need to congratulate someone else who has gotten the position.
This is life. This is life. Did they ask fun questions?
No. What is a fun question?
I don't know, what do you do in your hobbies, or what is what do you listen to, what do you paint, what is if you want to be if you want to be an animal, what do you want to be?
Yeah, maybe they did ask about what hobbies I have. Maybe. I don't remember.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a few warm-up questions. I remember,
and a question like Elon Musk, if you're on the north or top of the earth and you turn around, and some complicated questions. Okay, that's good.
Thankfully.
Okay, so 4 months, and then you got the contract.
And then I got the call, and then they said, "Congratulations," and I cried. I didn't expect that. I expected something else. I remember that moment. Yeah, I was like, why? Are they congratulating me? So because it took, it was this long process. You also build up the anxiety and the feelings. Will it be me, or will it's it was. Looking back at this moment, the nerves and everything.
Oh my God.
But I can only laugh about it now. And I'm also happy. I mean, of course, I got the position, so I can't say anything else.
Can put food on the table. Huh?
Yes. No, it was...
okay, they congratulated you.
Yeah, and then I began in a month after that. So let's say 5 months after. And then, they said, "Welcome, this is your first day. Here is your computer." I mean, it was still during the pandemic.
Yes,
so they said, "Here is your computer, but please go back home and work." And then I said, "Oh, okay."
Okay.
I think a lot who began new positions during the pandemic recognize themselves.
And you get a contract with the university.
I get yes. So it's a contract with me and KTH. Yeah, so they just said, "Here's your computer, go ahead and start." And I remember thinking, with what? I have 4 years ahead of me. How should I plan 4 years?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's where actually, because I really like to organize.
I remember.
That's how I am as a person. I like to organize, I like to plan, I like to, structure. Yeah. So these qualities were very good for this position, and I think that's why it has fit so well into me and my lifestyle.
Yeah.
So basically they said, "Go ahead and start," and then maybe a few weeks after, I began a course with my supervisors. Also, that's really good. That was really good. And then, so slowly, with each task, you develop I want to look more into this. I want to look more into that, and then, with time, it just builds. You build upon it. Okay. So with methods, with theory, with field work and site visits, and doing other workshopping, joining other networks, and finding inspiration from other researchers. All of it's really the circle is so large.
Okay.
But it continues. It goes around and around and around. Method, fieldwork, theory, networking, method. So it's a process that continues.
So it's nothing clear from the beginning that you're gonna do this, and 1, 2, 3, and that's it.
No, I think that's one of the best things with doing this type of research. It's not like a one path, or what is it called? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very circular, but also there is not a clear
path. Yeah.
So it opens up for a lot of crossings and
many possibilities,
connections, and
So when you start, you get like courses on how to do the PhD and research and method and so on. And parallel with that, you start to plan your topic.
Yes.
And how you approach it. And gather data and read and so on.
Yeah, and this I think is unique with doing a PhD, within these frameworks. So you have your research and the courses that you are taking, they're there to help you with your research. Okay. So the assignments that they give you, they oftentimes ask you to like write a text about your research topic. So you continue to build. It's like a very natural crossing. You have like
that's very good.
When you throw a ball at a wall and it comes back. That's the courses and you're the research. So you
you train yourself and learn.
Yeah, exactly. And that's so I mean, if it weren't for these courses, I think for sure I would have struggled more with
like how to figure out like your plan.
Yeah.
How is the financial part? Is it like how do you get paid? Is it monthly, per hour, per?
No, it's monthly. So we're
like a salary.
Yes, we have. I mean, I don't know if I can talk about. I don't know if I can say this for everyone, but in my case and my colleagues at KTH, we're employed by KTH, the university, and we get a monthly salary, which is from the funding that was first,
that they got.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a monthly salary. We're also counted as students, actually.
How?
Because you have how, I don't know.
No, okay. No, I mean, what is it about? Not how, but
so you have bachelor students, master's students. The PhD also are underneath this, umbrella, let's say.
Yeah.
And then when you've completed a PhD, you're no longer a student. You're like researcher or postdoc or.
What are the levels? Wait, there are more levels?
I should know this, but so it's. When you start at university, you have bachelor, 3 years most of the time, and then you have a master's for about 2 years, and then you do a PhD if you want to pursue the academic, career.
Okay.
And then after a PhD, you have the postdoc, which is about it could be like 1 year, it could be 2 years, it could be 3 years.
Yeah.
Very different depending on what position that you receive. And then after the postdoc, that's when you have the title researcher.
After?
Yes.
Okay.
And I believe after having the researcher title, you can apply to have the title associate professor.
Wow.
And then it's professor.
So professor is like the best ever.
Yeah.
In the academic career.
But what I didn't know before is that professor is like it's not a title.
What is it?
It's a position.
Okay.
So it's like how should I explain it? Just like associate professor and professor, it's not like me now. When I do a PhD, my title will be like doctor in philosophy.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's not the case with
professor.
Because that's like a working title. Okay. No, sorry, I'm confused. That's like job position.
Position and not an academic title.
Not an academic. Okay. So with this position, you're expected to have done a lot of things.
Yeah. Like
this was new to me.
Smartest people, professors, like.
Are they? Just kidding.
No, but like, wow. So many years
they need to have done a lot
in the research world.
Yeah, there's a lot. Still to this day, I'm in my third year. I still think there are some like structures that are not clear, and you also get lost in translation between Swedish and English.
Okay.
So you have English terms and Swedish terms. You think they are the same, and they're different.
They are not. And with the academic salary, can you survive?
Yes, because I think you go. You're counted as a student, so you have student discount, for example.
Yeah.
So it works. For sure. Yeah. I mean, I can't complain knowing that I have colleagues that do it next to their full-time job.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like it's a good salary. If you still count as a student.
Yeah, exactly, because you gotta get the student discount, but you have a salary.
Yeah. So
cool.
It's good.
Yeah. That's good. Okay, so this is like we talked about how you apply and the interview process, the salary, and like kind of how you plan your PhD and so on. But how is the working atmosphere and the working hours? Is it like office hours from 8 to 5? How is it?
If you want to, it can be any way you like. If you want to have working hours, I mean regular working hours, let's say 8 to 5 or 8 to 4, you can have that. If you want to start 12 in the day and end 12 in the night, you can have that. So that's, I think, one of the pros with doing a PhD is really flexible. Very you can work in the weekends. Yeah, you can work in the weekends and have weekdays off as long as you work. For me, because I am employed, I need to work, at least 40 hours a week. But if I want to work on the weekend and be free on some weekdays, that's completely fine.
Do they know that you work 40 hours? What is the reporting system? Or
there is this trust. I can't translate that term in English. It's like there is a trust between yourself as an employee and the employer that you will work 40 hours. So it's up to yourself how you divide these hours.
Because if for instance here in this company at Avery, as a consultant, we have like a system, and you write your 40 hours. You document 2 hours on this project, 4 hours on that project. In the end of the week, you need to have 40 hours.
Yeah.
And is in your PhD case, there is not a kind of documentation way of you show what are your 40 hours?
No one is interested in that. They are interested in the researcher handing in deadlines.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically delivering what is expected to be delivered.
Yeah. So let's say if I'm smart and fast, can I get the job of 40 hours done in 10 hours? Is it fine? So far I deliver?
It is fine.
Yeah.
If that's it, let's say you work this fast, but then you also need to, have the theory with you, You can't cheat your way to a PhD.
I tried.
I think it has developed very much over time also. I think doing a PhD, let's say back in the days, is different from doing one today.
Yeah.
So for me in the beginning, I remember thinking, oh, it's so luxurious. There's so much time and so much flexibility. There's not that much, how do you say, pressure. But then with every term that passes, you have less time to actually produce.
So you need to work, actually.
You need to work and you need to work. So this, I remember thinking this in the beginning, is this what what's so different? What's so difficult with doing a PhD?
I can go to Thailand and chill on a vacation and then...
It's easy. But then I, it quickly came back okay, this is
serious,
This is serious. It takes time. There's a lot of things that need to be done. A lot of how do you say moment? How do you say that in English?
Different
kind of tasks. And that's
Do you need to be
changed quickly?
Yeah. Do you need to be in the office?
It's up to me.
You have
they
an
recommend,
office, right?
Yeah, we're with the staff people at KTH.
And you have
the architecture
a desk.
school.
Oh, nice! And I love
floor.
it. I need to visit you.
The hierarchy.
It was our floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. When I did the master program, it was for us, but then they changed it. They sent us back to somewhere, and then they give it to the PhD students.
Now we got it.
It's so beautiful.
It's a good view.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good view.
Very beautiful. You have the terrace.
And it's an open landscape.
Yeah.
We're there is some restructuring going on right now. So sometimes I work from home.
Yeah.
And then because they want us to work at the office because the
of course, dynamic and
yes,
team. But you have a desktop.
Yeah, filled with books and articles and drawings and everything.
Amazing. Yeah.
You can come and visit. I
want to see the view.
Yeah. You want to see a PhD lifestyle?
Yes, welcome.
You need to look at the desktop.
So you work from home many times, or?
Yeah, I have periods. So if we go back to like describing what it is to do a PhD, I have these. For me, that's how it has developed. It's also because that's how I am as a person. But I have these intense periods. And then I take a break. And then I have an intense period. And then I take a break. Yeah. So during these intense periods, I can work. I work long hours. Because that's.
How many?
I can start 8 in the morning and end at 10 in the evening.
Okay.
That's how I like to work. Yeah. I push myself and I feel like it's like the engine is running.
Yeah.
And I want to
produce. You have a flow, you produce.
Exactly. I have this flow and I don't want to lose this flow.
That's good.
So I enjoy working in that way. It's just that sometimes, you forget other things like maybe working out or, family and friends and things like this. But it's okay.
This is it. Yeah.
I've been like this for a while. But then you have
you visit your family when you do the case study and observation. You go to Kalmar and visit.
That's why I chose to do it. So I get my work done, but I also yes.
Yeah.
No, so I intense periods. That's when I sit by the desk or I errand like doing the field work and catching people from associations or visiting archives. And then when it's been intense and I've had a deadline, for example, after that I allow myself to rest because it's really important to do that. Otherwise, it gets too much. But it's different. Everyone does it differently. I don't have children's and responsibility, and some of my
more
colleagues
time to put on.
Yeah, and some of my colleagues they have children, so then they need to adapt to the family life.
Yeah. And you because each PhD student have their own topic, and the thing in common is like the courses you do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. So we have. Like mandatory courses and we have elective courses. So it's a mix of elective and mandatory courses. But depending on when we start, so let's say I start in the autumn and there is a course available, I will start. And then if there are other students, like PhD students who haven't taken that course before, they will do that. Okay. And these courses, they go on, like they can start a bit like whenever, kind of. So you enroll when it fits you and your schedule.
Exactly.
So
that's good. That's very good. But do you feel like, does it feel that you're alone or you have a team? How is the atmosphere? Atmosphere?
It's a good question and an important question, I think, worth talking about. It is kind of lonely to do a PhD because you are very much in your own research.
Yeah.
But then like in my case, if you have a team like with other researchers, it helps so much because then during the lunches or if you have a fika break, you can discuss these larger questions like how do you handle this, like or how do you use this method, or have you read this theory? How are you working with it in your research? So that helps so much, even though we all use our different point of views. So in my case, they're like because I'm a landscape architect, and I'm doing my PhD in an architecture school. So
it's like you're in this. Okay, maybe bubble is not the right word, but you're still in the same field of architecture and design, maybe somehow. Yes,
it's so there are like some things that cross and others that are very different.
Yeah.
KTH specifically, we're a group. We call it the Green Space Group. So it's like we have similar interests and topics that we discuss.
Okay.
It was more active a few years ago, but
no.
I mean, we're still the people that were in this book. We call it a book club. We're still there. So yeah.
Okay.
So you know who has similar questions and
interest and so on.
Interests and
so doing PhD, is it lonely or no? Yes or no?
I mean, spontaneously, I want to say yes, but then no, because I'm not alone. I have this, I have these colleagues, these friends.
Yeah.
If I hadn't had them, like if I hadn't had, especially other PhD students in the department, I would say yes to your question.
Is it possible that two PhD students doing the same research, working on the same project, or no? Each one should do their own.
I don't think that's recommended.
Really?
Yes, because you want to, do something that's unique.
Okay.
And that's not already there. So,
I mean, like on your research topic, could it be me and you working on the same topic at the same team at the same place? Like how we did in the master thesis, we could be two.
Right. I have never heard of this.
Okay.
So I don't think so. I mean, you can write articles together or book chapters.
Yeah.
Or other things next to your thesis. But I think the thesis in itself has to be individual.
Okay, so you don't want me to work with you on the same PhD.
I'm sorry, Mustafa. You're 3 years late. Should have asked me.
But back to the hours and payment.
Yeah.
But if you work many hours, then it's not a good salary.
Yeah, but
if
that's
you understand
not
what I mean. Or,
yeah, but like from day
I'm trying
one,
to compare it like what we have as a consultant.
Right.
Like, okay, let's say you get 10 or you get 40, let's say $40 for the 40 hours.
Yeah.
We don't get like this, but like just to make it simple.
Yeah.
So for like, let's say $1 for each hour. But as a PhD, if you work like 80 hours, then your salary is not goody.
It's not goody, but I remember I was at a workshop and I remember I met a Swiss architect / researcher.
Wow.
And I asked him, because he had done a PhD. And then he said, Chero, I have a recommendation for you. This was early on during my PhD, because I asked him like, you seem to be so ambitious. Like, how do you balance your lifestyle?
Yeah.
And then he said, you know what? Every hour you put into your PhD is like an hour invested in yourself. And I was like, wow, this was deep.
And then
I tried to follow like this way of thinking. But then I also realized like, okay, this is not sustainable for me. I need to put in as many hours that I feel are suitable. Like if it's 35 hours 1 week, or if it's 55 hours 1 week, it doesn't, I shouldn't focus on the hours. I should focus on the quality. Like, do I feel satisfied with what I've produced for now? And is it a part of my path, like forward? I talked about the structure and the planning.
Yeah.
So this is how I work. I don't, one period I did count hours, and that wasn't,
Like, so you try to, as a regular job.
Yes.
You do 40 hours?
Just to understand, like, how long does it take for me to do this task? But it wasn't, like, I was always on overtime. So I was like, I don't need, I already know what I'm doing.
So it's not a good deal if you're person hard to be satisfied and good enough is not in your dictionary, because you need to work. No, in general. Yeah, like, because then you're gonna work the entire week and you're not happy with what you have, because you always want to make it better and better and better.
I mean, this is also one of the things with doing a PhD. You're never finished. So, I mean, after us sitting here, I could seriously open my laptop and continue with all of the 1,000 threads that are waiting for me waiting for my attention. So yeah, no, it's like a continued, it goes on and on and on. You need to like sit your foot down and be like, now I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy with this level, and it's good.
Yeah.
You need to tell yourself that. Otherwise,
like, stop yourself. Otherwise you just work.
Yeah.
So tell me, how is life when being a PhD? Because it's a kind of hard, because it's not like a regular working office, or you go to office and then after that you continue your day. It's mixed. How is your life, like not the PhD, but the rest of your life? What do you do, and how do you set the work-life balance?
So as I said in the beginning, I was like, oh, it's so flexible, you know. It's what is this PhD? Why is everyone saying it's so hard? So this period, I trained so much. I trained Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and it was so nice. It was like, oh, I can go to the morning classes and the lunch classes and all of this. But then, you know, I'm talking past time. It's not like this now. It caught up with me. No, but so that was in the beginning. I felt more flexibility, so I could like work out.
Yeah,
that was what I mostly wanted to do then. But now it doesn't, like, because I'm getting closer to the end.
Exactly.
I need to choose my hours and my time carefully, so I do it the best way. And also, you know, going back to not overworking.
Yeah.
Being satisfied with, okay, I'm following a plan and I am doing it on a level that makes me satisfied. And if I have more time, I will do more.
Okay.
And if I don't have more time, I will need to just be okay with what I've done for now.
Yeah. So do you work 24/7, or do you?
So I go to the office. I try to go every day. If I don't do that, it's because I'm doing field work and things like this.
Okay.
But I try to go to the office almost every day.
Nice.
So I have these, you know, regular. These the regular work-life schedule.
Yeah. From 8 to 5.
9 to 6. And then if I have time, I will do a workout in the evening, and then, you know, go home and sometimes I read in the evening. Sometimes I don't. I also try to
read related to your project.
Yeah. Mostly.
Yeah.
And then I've also started to like bike to KTH now from where I live, and that's about
Where do you live?
Brommaplan.
Nice. Yeah.
So that's about 8-9 kilometers, and it's really nice.
Wow.
I mean, now that we're
nice weather.
Spring. It's still cold in Sweden, but spring, slowly getting closer to the summer. So it's a nice way of like refreshing your brain, and also thinking. You know, this thinking
like
process
on your way to
So it's like I'm mentally preparing myself before I sit at the office. I'm like, okay, today I'm gonna do that. I need to look at that like paper, or I need to go back to my notes I wrote on that day, you know.
Yeah. Chero, correct me if I'm wrong, because I have an image that a PhD student, they have no life, and the entire day is about reading PDFs and producing and writing, eating and sleeping. Not so much time for other stuff.
I think that's so dependent on who the person is. Like if it's someone who loves their project, I mean, that will surely take up most of their time. So if you're more of a social person, maybe you want to grab a beer after every, like, you know, every Friday you want to go to that after work. Or, you know, if you have a family, you're going to prioritize spending time with your family.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, but if you choose to do a PhD, you probably do it because you think it's fun. And if you do think it's fun, then you're going to do, you know, that's what you're going to do. So if others think you're boring, I don't think I'm boring.
No, that's good. If you're doing what makes you happy, so why not?
Yeah.
Do you
That's one of the strengths, actually.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that's why I am still doing this.
Yeah. Do you have like an activities together with the others, like after work, trip, or I don't know?
Yeah. So sometimes we do, or I mean, we have these afterworks. That's nice. Yeah. Mostly we talk about PhD related things, or talk about like, maybe that's a bit nerdy. Or afterwards, I'm maybe not that much gossip. It's more like, oh, how do you use this? Theorists. So we have that sometimes. I mean, we meet after work to do other things also.
That's nice.
There are public lectures that we go to together as a social thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you go to have dinners with each other and
that's nice.
Things outside of work. So, for sure. There is this social
activities. When do you take vacation? Do you take vacation?
Yeah, I try to take it when everyone else takes it.
And when is it? Like, is it
during the summer?
July?
Yeah, around that. But we don't have fixed weeks like in the building.
So like you can also don't take vacation days and just like work the entire year.
No, I have to. I think I have to take. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not healthy to not take vacation. So I don't know if someone is not. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Go vacation and read books about the topic.
Yeah, that happens. No, but I summer and winter when everyone else takes vacation, I also do that.
Yeah.
But again, if I want to take have my holiday in March or in October, when it's not expected, that's completely fine if it fits with my schedule, like with the courses, with meetings and so on.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Then,
that's definitely possible.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you because we talked about like the process, the life and activities, team, office. What do you need to deliver during the 4 years? Is it just only like the book in the final or?
Yeah. So from day one.
From day one.
That's what's expected at least. Maybe you don't deliver.
Write a paper of 5 pages or something.
No, so from when you start until you finish, you're expected to work on, your dissertation. The actual.
What does it mean?
Dissertation is it's like the thesis.
Okay, the final document.
The final document, and that can be put up in different ways. So you have the monograph. Monograph is like a book. You have an introduction, you have chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then conclusion and finished.
Okay.
Or you have, what is it called in English? Like it's a compilation. It's a compilation of articles. There is a term for it, but I forgot now. So you have like a kappa. That's like a cover that explains So you have the kappa, and then you have articles inside the kappa that have already been published in journals and so on.
Yeah.
And then the kappa needs to describe what these articles are about, and there you need to have your like methods and theory and introduction and conclusion.
Okay.
So you have these 2 different versions. This is what you work on during your 4 years. In Sweden it's 4 years, so I'm saying 4 years.
Yeah.
Except for this, you also have like course assignments. You can also join networks, and in these networks you can go to workshops or conferences, which I've done quite a lot. And
that's fun.
Through this, it's really fun, and it's very helpful to expand your research. So in conversation with others who might do similar things, or even if it's different, you get inspired, which also triggers, maybe I should write this from that point of view,
So you get inspiration.
Yeah, and in these networks you can also there's maybe like most of the time there is a goal. Like, okay, we're gathering people here.
Yeah.
And we will write like a book together. We will publish something together to combine our different points of view on this theme that we have chosen for this network. So you have that. I have 2 of these projects happening. One is an article in a journal, and one is a book chapter.
Nice.
So this is something that's ongoing next. Besides,
on the side,
my own research with my thesis.
Yeah. So what are you going to deliver in the end? Is the kappa you say?
No, that's another version. I'm doing the monograph. I forgot to mention that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm doing the monograph with the chapters, and the chapters are each a case study. The 3 ones I mentioned.
Yeah.
So I'll have an introduction, and in this introduction I will share how transparent I am.
Talk about yourself and background.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's what you do in the introduction, and you have like, I'm using these theories, and these are the reasons I'm using these, and also I know you don't like the method section, but I have
to. It is good. It is good.
It's good,
but not so not 100 pages.
We'll see. No, not 100 pages.
And then each chapter is about each case.
Each chapter is a case study.
Wow.
And then I will have the conclusion that sums up everything. So this will be a full, it's the monograph.
Did you start like this document on InDesign or Word? Or no, you will do this later?
No, actually, this is something that like us PhD students talk so much about. Like, but how are you doing yours? And how are you, because there is no fixed structure. No. But I early on I created a Word document. And then I did this,
the structure.
The frame. Like, okay, introduction, title, table of conclusion. I wanted to see it. I wanted to visualize.
To get the feeling of how is this going to look like in the end.
Yeah. And so I did that early on. And then, like, I remember the first year when I had a presentation, I only had a draft of one chapter.
Okay.
It was the neighborhood park in Norrliden. So I had I want to do this. Like, how
does it gonna look like?
Yeah. And then I had only written abstracts for the other chapters. Like, I want these other chapters to be something about this. So, and then this is what I showed my supervisors.
Smart.
Yeah.
Good job.
And then with every year that has passed, I took an abstract out and added the text. So it's like the document is getting larger and larger. Actually,
how many pages are like? What do you think?
My last year, I think I had about 150 pages. Something like this.
Please.
Last year.
Please.
We have a new year.
No. So we need to read all these?
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's images also.
I wanted to ask, do you use sketches?
Yeah. I use a lot of images.
That's good.
And I do sketches also and try to analyze from above, but also, sketches.
Yeah, because you have this talent of drawing and so on.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say talent, but I try to use my landscape architecture skills.
So humble. Became so humble as a PhD.
Not before.
So you're gonna put images as well, not only like a text.
Yeah.
That's good, because then I'm going to read.
Yeah, there will be, for you, I will put extra images.
Like a chapter for me will only images.
Mustafa, I will write in the image description, this extra images for you.
Figure 3 extra images from Mustafa. But then you need to have also like this, what do you call it? Forward. Like
acknowledgement.
Who is gonna write it? Like
you.
Because usually there's like someone super special, right? Or big.
Yeah, I mean, because I've interviewed so many people, and they are such a big part of my research.
Yeah,
I will somehow have to thank all of them.
Yeah, and but is it you gonna write it or?
Yes, we write it.
Okay.
Like, we write everything ourselves. There is no part that someone else writes.
Okay.
That's why you're doing it.
So you're gonna thank them and all. Yeah. Beautiful.
So everyone that has somehow been a part of
family, Wikipedia.
Let's say it's beautiful and respectful
of course,
have them.
Something to show back.
Yeah.
Wikipedia also.
Wikipedia.
I want to thank Wikipedia.
Wikipedia sources, maybe.
Source.
Not Wikipedia itself.
ChatGPT. Do you use it?
Yes, I've recently started to use it.
How?
So let's say if I write a text, or if I have a text in my chapter, for example, the one I'm working on right now.
Yeah.
I will, if I don't like how I've written it, if it's like, this word, it's not the correct, word. Because English is in my first language. So, of course, there are words that aren't translated correctly.
Yeah.
Then I'll add it in ChatGPT and write.
Fix it.
It's something like, can you give a suggestion for another word? Or can you improve the grammar?
You're so polite to ChatGPT.
Yeah, I mean, I need to be honest with myself. So I would never want to use something.
No, I mean, like when you write to ChatGPT, you say, "Can you please fix this?"
Oh no, I don't write please. That's just how
I thought this is a PhD way of talking with ChatGPT.
No.
Like I just put fix it.
Yeah, But I write it very clearly because I don't want it to change my... Sometimes I know I've written like rewrite in a better way.
Yeah.
And then it does something else. And I'm like, whoa, okay, no.
Not that better.
I take it back. Don't touch my text.
Just fix the grammar and...
Yeah. So, and that helps.
Good.
Like we're used to speaking in one way and then you understand, in English, like...
Do they allow you to use it?
I mean, it's like using any other grammar tool. Like you have Grammarly as an add-on on Word,
the green
and
one.
you have there's so many.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can go very far with ChatGPT, I think, or these AI tools.
Yeah.
You need to be honest to yourself. Like, what are you how are you using this, and how original are you?
Like it's your...
What are your intentions?
Because like they can also produce something, but then it's not true because it's not your case. It's
exactly.
Like
so I'm very, very careful.
I want to ask you, what are the skills that a PhD student need to have? Like
curiosity.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you need to be curious. I was not a writer before I started. I was not a historian before I started. Because I'm doing, a PhD in history, theory, and critical studies. Oh, you see?
Hitting the microphone.
I use my hands a lot when I talk.
You're passionate about what you
see? Curious.
I see, yeah. I see and hear.
Yeah, for sure. You need to be curious and you need to be interested in wanting to find out more and, asking questions and all of this. If you're the type of person that's very satisfied, I think it's hard to do a PhD.
Okay.
Because if you get an answer and you're like, okay, I'm happy, then you need to, you can't be that satisfied. You need to want to know more.
And explore.
Yeah. So I think that's helpful. But yeah, you don't need to be a writer. That comes with time. I've done writing courses. Like quite a lot now.
What is writing? Like how to write?
How to write.
Okay.
Like there are many ways of understanding and learning how to write. And they have been so helpful to me. So, and these have been in the PhD courses.
Okay, yeah. Because like sometimes maybe people think you need to be like a very, very professional in English and you should know how to write like a journalist or a author.
I'm so happy that we're talking about this now because it reminded me of what I felt before I started this position. Because I kept thinking, I don't want to be a typical PhD or researcher that just like disappears in her own bubble and then just forgets. I want to be the type of person that if I find out about something, I want everyone else to also find out. So I'm actively thinking about this when I'm writing. I am writing in a simple language.
That's very good.
I'm trying to make it as easy and accessible to the
general public, so they read and understand and learn.
Exactly, because these areas or these neighborhoods that I'm studying, I want themselves to be able to read what I've written.
Yeah, right.
I don't want it to be only for academics or an international audience. Who already know very good English. I want it to be closer to those who it is about.
That's great.
So this is one of my ambitions, to write it in a simple way so that as many people as possible understand it. Then, I mean, yes, it is in English. It's not in Swedish.
Of course,
that's also...
Is it possible to do like a PhD in different language or should be English?
I mean, you can do it in Swedish. It's just that the criteria for this position was to do it in English.
It's good. Then many people will read it.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay. What else? Curiosity. English.
I mean,
basic level maybe.
Yeah.
Or good level, academic level.
Yeah, and that also I guess comes with time. I mean, of course, you shouldn't not know English and then write it.
Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, I mean, needs to
like it's not like a okay, yeah.
I mean, you need to be able to share what it is that you want to get out of the research in all of these different contexts.
Course,
the workshops, the conferences, speaking with people on the street, and so on. So you need to have this.
Yeah.
You need to be interested in conversating also.
Yeah.
or communicating, I can
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
Other skills?
I wouldn't say. I would say I think it's so important to like put the pressure down on doing a PhD.
Yeah.
Of course, everyone can't do it for many reasons. And one can be that they're not interested. Let's be honest. But I think I remember before I started, I was terrified. Like, no, this is too high level for me. I can't. It's too scary. You need to really be an academic and show that you have this interest since day one when you start in university. But then, with time, you have imposter syndrome as well. Like, do I belong here?
Yeah.
I'm not good enough, and all of this. But then, with time, you realize, yes. Of course you belong.
Yeah,
of course you can make it as well. Like everyone can do this if they want to.
Yeah. Like, it's fine. Still human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just have to have the interest.
Cool.
And the curiosity.
And communicate.
That's
good. So not high criterias.
No.
You don't need to be extra smart or.
No. I mean, also how? No. I would say no.
Yeah. So what you're gonna produce in the end of 2025 is this monography, and then during the years also like you're gonna contribute to others like publications.
Yeah.
That's fun, no?
I'm really excited. It's nice to be in other networks and see that you can like use what you've researched about and see it in different contexts.
Right.
So I think that's also one of the very amusing parts of doing this journey.
Is it like, I guess it's up to you how you make it, right? Like if you're like social and engaged and want to be different part of different networks,
Yeah,
like you can do this, or you can just focus on what your only production and that's it.
Yeah, maybe that's also a quality that's maybe important to be social. I forgot that. I mean, because I see doing a PhD as a lot of networking. You need to somehow dare to talk with people, and ask some questions that are tied to your research to have your research advanced. And if you're afraid of having these conversations, maybe that can be a bit difficult.
Do you have like a network in Sweden, internationally? Where are your communities?
So because I'm looking at the Swedish like neighborhoods that were built, like we call it modernistic neighborhoods, we see similar structures around Europe. So I have networks in other European countries.
Nice.
That work with similar questions. So that's very good to know that what I'm doing and what's happening here is also part of something larger.
Yeah.
But most of my networks are in the Nordic countries because it's what happened in Sweden is similar to what happened in Norway and Denmark.
And the conferences you attend, how do you get the invitation? How is it? And what kind of conferences?
Yeah. Let's see. There have been a few. One way is to subscribe to like
what do you call open call paper?
Yeah. To subscribe to like journals or web pages that put these conferences out.
Announce about it.
Yeah. So and that's mostly networks who do that. So you if you see something and you're like, oh, this fits to my research, I should probably apply.
Yeah.
So then you apply by writing an abstract. This is also maybe interesting to know. So you don't write a paper and you don't hand in a CV the first thing you do. Let me double check what I'm saying right now. Yeah. So you write an abstract like, okay, this is my, this is what I want to develop.
Okay.
Are you interested in this? Does this fit into your conference
program?
And exactly.
Yeah.
The program in the conference or workshop or whatever it could be. And then you write a personal letter explaining why you think that you fit in. So you have this, that's how you apply. And then if you get approved, then you expand the abstract into a paper, or it could be a presentation. So maybe it's even at that stage, it's not a paper.
Okay.
But you have a presentation about a topic that you've gone further, like developed or examined, and then you present it, and then normally there's a jury, or there are others who are also presenting, and then there's an audience with those who are participating in the conference, and sometimes it's just outside people also asking questions like, how did you think about this, and what do you can you expand this? So that's it's so good for your research, because you learn to answer questions that are like you understand that they're like missing links, but also it's good to test yourself,
right, but also like
I know what I'm doing
to travel, because they I guess they pay all your expenses, like traveling, hotel, and
it's different. So if you do travel, in my case, if I do travels that are tied to the field work of the case studies, then my funding will cover this. But if I do things that are outside, you remember I was talking about the thesis, and then there are things next to it. If I go to a conference or a workshop, I need to finance that from
somehow
other
sources,
scholarships.
Okay, so you apply and
so let's say I apply to a conference with an abstract, and then next, like if there is an opening with a certain scholarship or something, I will at the same time apply for a scholarship. So that's covered. Like when I get accepted, I will also have the scholarship accepted.
Nice.
And if I don't get accepted, I have to return those. It's a lot of work.
But tell me, are there like sources to get scholarships, or no, there are not?
Yeah. So I think it's the same for most universities. They have like a site on their university webpage that says scholarships, and then it's clear which ones you can apply to as a PhD student, and if you're something else, if it's postdoc, or if you're a master's student, so it's clear which ones you can apply to.
Okay.
So they make it quite easy, I would say.
And can you do like exchange studies? Like in when we did the master, we could like do Erasmus or go to another university to study.
Yeah, that's also possible. Yeah.
Okay.
For me, I haven't done it because I don't find it relevant.
Because your cases are here
in Sweden, so I don't think it's necessary for me to leave Sweden. Yeah.
Interesting. It's like, I think a PhD student life sounds more interesting than what I
happy to hear.
Imagine. What do you like? Do you recommend people to do the PhD, or when should they do PhD?
Definitely. Like when I finished my master's degree, I remember thinking to myself, I'm not done with doing things in like the academic world. I'm just going to work for like 10 hours. 10 hours. Thanks 10
a lot.
years. Goes quickly. No, but I really, I remember thinking that I'm just going to work, as a consultant for like 10 years, and then I will probably go back to doing a PhD. It was just like a random thought I kept thinking about.
Okay.
But then, life changed, and we ended up in the pandemic, and then we had this position, and I was like, maybe it's meant to be that I don't wait 10 years. Maybe I should do it now. And I had a bit work, experience by then. I think I had worked for a bit more than 1 year, and that was better than not having worked at all.
Of course, so, you got some feelings about how is it to work in the field.
I think that's also, for me, it was nice to not have directly gone from a master's to continue doing a PhD.
So do you recommend people to work a bit and then come back and do a PhD, or do it directly, or no, forget about it and do it later when you're like old?
I think if you're interested in doing a PhD, and you see a position that fits with what you're interested in, like examining, go for it.
Okay.
But it shouldn't be forced, because this is a project that goes on for many years, and it's a lot of hours you put into working on this, like same questions, and that's why that's why I go back to saying this, like, you need to be curious.
Yeah.
You need to have this curiosity with you.
And work.
Yeah. If you don't have that in you, I don't think, maybe it's not a PhD you should be doing. Maybe it's a shorter research project or something.
Yeah. Do you miss being a consultant and working in the field?
Sometimes. I miss it sometimes, but then I remember the flexibility I have as a PhD.
Okay.
And I think it's hard to...
Then you smile.
This is my answer.
You don't miss working with me?
I miss... For sure. No, honestly.
It was a lot of fun, no?
We had so much fun. It's like the peak of...
Yeah, I was like, when you started to work and then we did the project together, I was like, okay, working is so much fun.
Yeah,
no?
But not before that, right, Mustafa?
No.
And not after that.
No, but when I saw you doing a PhD, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, Chero becomes so super smart now. She
I wasn't smart before.
No. You were. But like now, like I was like, oh, she's gonna be a professor and come to me and say, oh, listen to me now. I'm professor.
Now I am talking.
You like I talk, you listen, master student. No, it's so much fun to see, and like, yeah, life is interesting, no?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to like accept the path that life takes you on. It's such a cliche to talk in this way,
It's reality,
but that's really how it is. One way you're on one path and the next day you're on another path. And that's also, fine.
Cool.
You just have to go with where it leads you.
Yes. And so before we go to the next section, like 3, tell me, what is on your agenda for the next year? Like, what is going to happen? So we like some interesting stuff.
So, I mean, hopefully I will have within the next year. No.
Yeah, like let's say
within 1 year.
Within 1 year. Now it's like May. What is going to happen to the May 2025?
Well, hopefully I will have a title.
Yes.
Hopefully I will be finished with this,
PhD.
journey. So from now until then, I need to have had my research seminars, which are mandatory, especially the 90% seminar. That's how it is.
But you need to present what you do, or what?
Yes, I need to have, it's like a presentation I will have for the staff. And it's also open for others who want to listen.
Public?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the 90% that will happen in autumn. Right now I'm preparing for the 80%, which will be June 17th.
Nice.
So it's getting closer and closer. But before that 80%, I will be, speaking of networking, I have a workshop I'll attend in Palermo.
Wow.
So Sicily. So we will be there for 1 week. It's
beautiful.
Yes. I will eat a lot of gelato.
Yeah. Remember me then.
I will remember you. I'm not in Milano though. That's your favorite city, right?
Oh yeah. Anyway.
So I will be there. It's a workshop on they call it critical border studies.
Okay.
So about borders and borderlands, and it's very mixed. I think there will be like sociologists there.
Okay.
Like law students, and so I don't know if there are many architects. I think there are anthropologists attending as well. So I think I'm coming in with a different angle there as well.
Yeah,
and
that's good.
Also, see,
hitting the mic.
Yeah. And that's also very interesting, mixing backgrounds and understanding, our questions relate, even though we have different perspectives and different ways of seeing the issue or topic, the question. So that's that. Basically after the workshop, I will just spend my time on completing what I've gathered for these past 3 years. And then in this summer, I will hopefully set a date for when I present in March.
Awesome.
Next year.
Wow.
So that's
it's gonna be a big year.
Yes.
A lot of things.
A colleague of mine said that that it's like a wedding to yourself, with yourself.
With yourself.
So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
But cool. But
if everything goes as planned, maybe
hopefully, yes, finger crossed. No, I think you're good to manage that. Hopefully, you will manage. But I love to attend. Like I don't know which part maybe the final.
Yeah, for
see
sure.
When they gonna ask you questions.
Yeah. Then you'll get your answers. The ones I didn't answer now.
No, it's gonna be interesting. No, hopefully I love to attend and listen and congratulate you on your wedding with yourself.
Right. But not yet. I have a lot left.
Yeah.
But next year, hopefully.
Next year, yeah. No, but we keep in touch and then we see how is things going to be.
For sure.
But are you enjoying the journey?
Yes, very much. I mean, it goes up and down. Sometimes you're like, oh, this is so frustrating. You know, you're not getting the answer that you're waiting for, or things take longer than expected. And so, of course, there are a lot of bumps on the road, but that's also part of doing this.
Exactly.
You can't do this with your finger and then have everything served. So
have a title.
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot one question. Now I remembered. Last question in this section. Do you need to teach as a PhD student?
That's also written in the position. So in my position, it was not expected for me to do it. Yeah. But I have done a bit, especially last year. This year I focused on only writing and, staying inside my bubble and getting everything together and so on. But yeah, so definitely I will teach in the autumn, for example. You will? Yeah, I will have a seminar course.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Like an entire course or like lectures in a course?
So it's like seminars and together it will be a course. It's 8 sessions that master students can choose. Exactly. And it's in the architecture school at KTH. Maybe that's good to clarify. Yeah.
What are you going to talk about?
Landscape. I need to use my strength,
Interesting.
Like how I haven't fully developed that, but I think I will, talk about how to approach landscapes and how to understand and analyze. And I think it's important to talk about this perspective with architecture students. So it's not like it's only the buildings. It's actually the whole setting.
The urban design, the outdoor atmosphere, life between buildings.
Yes, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hopefully.
But happy. Interesting. No, that's very fun and interesting. And I'm very happy that you explained to me. To be honest, I had another image before. Now I have another. Maybe one day in my life, I will come to you and say, Chero, I want to apply for a PhD.
For sure. And I will be there for you. I mean, I think whoever has the interest and wants to create their own topic or, subject to research on should go for it.
Yeah, because I was wondering a lot, like, if I should continue to dig down and explore, like, some topics about, like, children participation, placemaking.
Yeah, for sure.
No, because it seems like there is a lot to explore there. Maybe.
There's a lot to explore. And there is a lot work already done, which can be interesting to build upon.
You're making me interested.
Good. I think you have a lot of knowledge yourself as well.
I love to. Yeah, maybe.
You can stick to that idea.
Yeah.